Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, welcome to our English grammar learning video. This video is created for our final project for the intermediate grammar course.
Well, in this video we will discuss about two grammar topics. For the first one is their sentence construction or CRC, and after that we move on to the relative clauses or CRC.
So before we start, first let us introduce ourselves so you can get to know us better. We are from Group 2 from K3 2023. So here are the members.
Hi, I'm Winda Dewi. I will explain about their construction or CRC.
Hello, I'm Galuh Titian Pangestu and I'm also explaining about their sentence construction.
Hi, I'm Jesselin Daneva Sitompul and I will explain about the relative clauses or CRC.
Hello, I'm Aprilia Rahmawati and I will also help you understand the use of relative clauses.
Hi, I'm Anisa Syarief and I also show you how relative clauses are used in real sentence structure.
Our goal is to make grammar fun, clear, and easy to understand. So let's get started. Hi everyone! Today we are going to explore a simple yet powerful method to build English sentences correctly and confidently. Have you ever felt confused about the correct order of words in a sentence? Or maybe you want to make your sentences more detailed and interesting. If so, you are in the right place. Let me introduce you to the concept of stepping the 5-stair C. This method breaks down sentence construction into 5 easy steps. Just like climbing a staircase, each stair represents an important part of a sentence, starting from the main noun phrase and moving up to adverbs that add extra information. By mastering these 5 steps, you'll be able to create clear, accurate, and expressive sentences in English, whether you are writing, speaking, or even thinking in English. So, let's take our first step and see how each stair helps us build better sentences. Are you ready to climb the stairs to better English? Let's get started. Present tense positive. On this slide, you see the structure for positive statements in the present tense. Stairs 1, there. We often start with there, especially when we're talking about the existence or presence of something. For example, there is a teacher, or there are some books. Stairs 2, copula. This is where our to be verb comes in. The copula agree with the noun phrase that follows it. So we have is for singular noun phrases like a teacher or a book, and are for plural noun phrase like some books or many tables. Notice how the copula changes depending on whether the noun is singular or plural. Stairs 3, noun phrase 1. This is the subject of our sentence. It can be a singular noun like a book, a kite, or a cat, or a plural noun like some books, 2 kites, or many tables. Therefore, skip it. For this specific sentence structure focusing on the copula and existence, we often skip directly to the next steps. Stairs 5, adverbs of manner, place, time. After establishing the existence or identity, we can add more detail using adverbs of manner. How something happens, for example, really happily. Place, where, for example, in America, on the table. And time, when, for example, every day, usually. So, for a positive sentence, the structure generally flows from there plus copula plus noun plus 1, and then you can add adverbs of manner, place, or time. For example, there is a book on the table every day. 2. Present tense negative. Now let's move on to forming negative statements. The structure is very similar with one key addition. Stairs 1, there. Again, we start with there to indicate non-existence. Stairs 2, copula. This is where the change happens. To make it negative, we simply add not after the copula. So is becomes is not and are becomes are not. Stairs 3, noun plus 1. This remains the same as in the positive form. It's the noun or noun phrase that we are stating does not exist or is not something. Therefore, always keep similar to the positive form. We bypass this step for this structure. Stairs 5, adverbs of manner, place, time. You can still add adverbs of manner, place, or time to provide more context to your negative statement. Therefore, for a negative sentence, the pattern is there plus copula plus not plus noun plus 1 followed by any adverbs. For example, there is not a cat in the house or there are not any books here. 3. Present tense interrogative. Finally, let's look at how to form questions in the present tense. Specifically, yes or no questions using the copula. Stars 1, copula. The most significant change for a question is that the copula moves to the very beginning of the sentence. Instead of there is, we start with is there or are there. Stars 2, there. After the copula, we place there as the second element. Stars 3, noun phrase 1. The noun phrase follows there, identifying what you are asking about. Step 4, skip. Stairs 5, adverbs of manner, place, time. Similar to the other forms, you can still include adverbs of manner, place, and time at the end of the question to provide additional details. So, to ask a question, you simply invert the order of the copula and there, making it is or are plus there plus noun plus 1, and then you can add your adverbs. For example, is there a teacher or are there any books on the table? Following our previous discussion on the present tense, well, now apply the same stepping the 5 stairs C framework to understand sentence construction in the past tense. The principles are very similar but will be using past forms of the copula, was and were. Let's start with the first stairs. First, past tense positive. On this slide, we see the structure for positive statements in the past tense. Stairs 1, there. Just like the present tense, we often begin with there to indicate the existence or presence of something in the past. For example, there was a teacher or there were some books. Stairs 2, copula. This is where the past tense comes into play. The copula will now be either was or were. Was is used for singular noun phrase, for example, a teacher, a book, and were is used for plural noun phrase, for example, some books, many tables. The copula must agree with the noun phrase that follows it. Stairs 3, noun phrase 1. This is the subject of our sentence, specifying what exists or was present. It can be a singular noun like a book, a kite, or a cat, or plural noun like some books, two kites, or many tables. Stairs 4, skip. For this specific structure, focusing on the copula and existence, we skip this step. Stairs 5, adverbs of manner, place, time. After stating what existed, you can add more detail using adverbs. For the past tense, our times adverbs will reflect past events such as yesterday, last week, 2 weeks ago, or specific years like in 2020 so far. So, for a positive past tense sentence, the general structure is there plus copula, was or were plus noun plus 1, and then you can add adverbs of manner, place, or time. For example, there was a book on the table yesterday, or there were many students in the class last year. 2. Past tense negative. Next, let's explore how to form negative statements in the past tense. The change is simple but crucial. Stairs 1, there. We begin with there to signify that something did not exist or was not present in the past. Step 2, copula. To make the past tense copula negative, we add not, so was becomes was not, and were becomes were not. Stairs 3, noun phrase 1. This is the noun or noun phrase that we are stating did not exist or was not something in the past. Stair 4, skip. Similar to the positive form, we bypass this step. Stairs 5, adverbs of manner, place, time. You can still include adverbs of manner, place, or time to provide additional context to your negative statement about past events. Therefore, for a negative past tense sentence, the pattern is there plus copula, was not or were not, plus noun phrase 1 followed by any relevant adverbs. For examples, there was not a cat in the house last night, or there were not any problems with the project last week. 3. Past tense interrogative. Finally, let's look at how to form questions in the past tense, specifically yes or no questions using was or were. Stairs 1, copula. The key to forming a question is to move the past tense, copula, was or were, to the very beginning of the sentence. Instead of there was, we start with was there or were there. Stairs 2, there. After fronted copula, we place there as the second element. Stairs 3, noun phrase 1. The noun phrase follows theirs, identifying what you are asking about its past existence or presence. Step 4, skip. Stairs 5, adverbs of manner, place, time. You can still include adverbs of manner, place, and time at the end of the question to add more specific details about the past events you are inquiring about. So, to ask question in the past tense, you invert the order of the copula and there, making it was or were plus there plus no plus one, and then you can add your adverbs. For example, was there a teacher yesterday, or were there any books on the table this morning?
Hello everyone, I'm Galuh Titian Pangestu. So now I want to continue the material about stepping the 5-stair C, which is their sentence construction. There are two more tenses that I will present, namely present perfect tense and modal tense. Okay, let's continue our learning. Okay, the next tense is present perfect tense. Okay, which is consists of their copula, like using has been or singular nouns, or you can use have been for plural nouns, and then noun phrase like a book, some books. So for the fourth stair, which is predicate adjective, is always skipped. And then the last is the use of adverbs of manner, place, and time. Okay, you can use manner like really, happily, easily, fast, low, high, and etc. For place, such as in America, on the table, in front of, from bottom, at a market, and etc. And finally, you can use adverb of time such as recently, lately, currently, and etc. Example of positive present tense sentence are there have been many new shoe stores at the market lately. There, for the first there, have been for the copula, many new shoe stores for the noun plus one, at the market for the adverb of place, and lately for the adverb of time. Furthermore, to make this sentence into a negative sentence of the present perfect tense, you can simply add not to the copula, such as have not been or has not been. For example, there have not been many new shoe stores at the market lately. There, for the first there, have not been for the copula, many new shoe stores for the noun plus one, at the market for the adverb of place, and lately for the adverb of time. Next, we continue how to make present perfect tense sentence into interrogative form. The method is quite easy. You only need to place the copula have or has in the first stair position, followed by there for the second stair, at been after it, noun plus one in the third stair, and remember that predicate adjective is always skipped, and for the last stair are adverbs of manner, place, and time. For example, have there been many new shoe stores at the market lately? have for the copula, there for the second stair by adding been after it, many new shoe stores for the non-press one, at the market for adverb of place, and lately for the adverb of time. And don't forget to use a question mark at the end of the sentence. Okay, now we move to the last tense, which is modal tense. The stairs in modal tense are the same as the stairs in present perfect tense, except that the copula have been or has been in the second stair is changed to modal such as will be, must be, can be, or may be. The arrangement is like this. There, modals such as will be, must be, can be, or may be, non-press one, and remember that predicate adjective is always kept, and the last is adverb of manner, place, and time. Okay, now let's try an example of a positive sentence in modal tense. Okay, there will be a new menu at the Korean restaurant next week. There, for the first step, will be for the modal, a new menu for the non-press one at Korean restaurant for the adverb of place, and next week for the adverb of time. Okay then, from that sentence, we change it to modal tense in the negative sentence. In this negative sentence, you only need to add not after the modal such as will not, must not, cannot, may not. So the arrangement will be like this. There, modals such as will not, must not, cannot, and may not. Non-press one, predicate adjective is always kept, and adverb of manner, place, and time. For example, there will not be a new menu at the Korean restaurant next week. There, for the first stair, will not be for the modal, a new menu for the non-press one, at Korean restaurant for the adverb of place, and next week for the adverb of time. Okay, now we move on to the last sentence in the modal tense, which is the interrogative sentence. You just need to move the modal such as will, must, can, may on the first step. Then there on the second step and followed by be after it, non-press one, predicate adjective always kept, and finally adverb of manner, place, time. For example, will there be a new menu at the Korean restaurant next week? Will for the modal in the first step, there for the second step and followed by be after it, a new menu for the non-press one at the Korean restaurant for the adverb of place, and next week for the adverb of time. Okay guys, I think that's enough presentation for me and Winda. We will move on to the next topic, such as relative clauses, which will be explained by our group members. So, thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Aprilia Rahmawati. We've just finished the previous topic, and now let's talk about relative clauses. Relative clauses, an important grammar feature in English that helps you describe or identify a person, place, thing, or idea with more detail. A relative clauses is a part of sentence that describes a noun by giving more information about it. This extra information can help identify which person or thing we are talking about, or simply give additional details. Next, types of relative clauses. There are two types of relative clauses you need to know. First, defining relative clauses, also known as restrictive clauses, give essential information needed to understand which noun we mean. Without them, the sentence may not make sense or may refer to something too general. For example, the girl who won the competition is my cousin. Without who won the competition, we don't know which girl is meant. Second, non-defining relative clauses, or non-restrictive clauses add extra information that is not necessary to identify the noun. These clauses are separated by commas and the sentence would still be complete without them. And for example, my father, we loves gardening, spend hours outside every weekend. The clause gives extra detail, but we still know who my father is. And remember, defining clauses do not use commas. Non-defining clauses must use commas. Non-defining clauses cannot use that. They require specific relative pronouns like who, which, or whose. By understanding these two types, you can make your sentence clearer and more precise, helping your reader or listener know exactly what or who you mean. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Jesselin Daneva Sitompul, and for this discussion, I will continue with the relative pronouns and how they work in sentence structures, especially with the stepping the 5 stairs D technique from our learning module in the intermediate grammar course. First, here are the most important relative pronouns you should know. Actually, from what I learned from our intermediate grammar course with Mr. Satria Agus, our lecturer, actually we just learned about 3 relative pronouns or relative conjunction pronouns. They are who, which, and that. Then, after I looked for more references, it turned out that it wasn't just that. There were also several other relative pronouns. They are, first, who. Who is for people as the subject of the relative clause. And then whom is for people as for the object of the clause. And then whose is for shows possession. And then which is for animals or things. That is for people or things in defining clauses. And then there are also where, when, why, which is for places, times, and reason. For examples, the first example, the teacher who helped me was very kind. Here, who is the subject of helped. Another example, the student whom I saw look worried. Here, I is the subject of saw and whom is the object. And then the next example, the man whose car broke down was upset. This means the man's car broke down. Another example, the laptop which I bought works great. Which I bought here gives more information about the laptop. And the last example is like the city where we made is beautiful. And in this relative clause, especially in the stepping the 5 stairs lead technique, a sentence is broken down into 5 components. As you can see in the picture, there are 5 stairs level. The first stair is stair 1, it is NP1 or non-phrase 2. It is the main non-phrase which can include a relative clause to describe the subject. And then stair 2, it is for the main verb. Stair 3 or NP2 or complement or non-phrase 2 is for the object or complement of the verb. And stair 4, it is usually skipped, used optionally for adjectives or additional information. And the last stair is stair 5, is MPT or adverbs of manner, place, and time. Example in the sentence, a tall student who came late yesterday apologized to the teacher. I would like to break it down. So the NP1 here, a tall student who came late yesterday, and then the verb is apologize, and then the NP2 is to the teacher. So here, the relative clause who came late yesterday adds detail to NP1, making it clear which students we are talking about. And then another example, the book which she borrowed from the library interested her a lot. For the breakdown, the NP1 is the book which she borrowed from the library. It is noun phrase with relative clause, that is, which she borrowed from the library. And then the verb is interested. NP2 is her. And then for the therefore is a lot. And then so in this sentence, the main noun phrase, which is the book which she borrowed from the library, shows that what the sentence is about. And then the verb interested tells the action or state. And then the object her shows who was affected by the action. And then the extra information, that is a lot, tells how much she was interested. So this step-by-step structure is very helpful for building complex sentences accurately, as taught in the Stepping the 5 Stairs D method. Alright, that's all about the structure in relative clauses. Now we shall move to the next discussion.
Common mistakes, usage tips, and advanced notes. Hi, I'm Anisa Sayidinna Syarief. Before we end our discussion today, let's move on to the last part of our material. Here, I will explain about common mistakes, tips for using relative clauses and effectively, and some advanced notes to make your grammar sound natural and correct. When we learn relative clauses, it's very common to make mistakes that can change the meaning of our sentences or make them sound unnatural. So let's take a closer look. Common mistakes include 3 points. For the first one is using commas incorrectly and defining relative clauses. Many students add commas where they shouldn't, which makes the sentence look like a non-defining clause, even though it's defining. The second one is using the wrong relative pronoun. For example, using which for people or who for things can make your sentence confusing or grammatically incorrect. And the last one is dropping the relative pronoun when it is necessary, especially in formal writing. While it's sometimes okay in informal English, in formal writing it can make your sentence incomplete and awkward. Sometimes we forget to relative pronouns are not only for joining sentences but also for clarifying exactly who or what we are talking about. That's why choosing the right pronoun is so important. Now let's move on to advanced notes from grammar references. According to Cambridge Grammar in Use, it is common in informal English to omit the relative pronouns when it is the object of the relative clause. For example, like the song that I love is playing. Here, that can be dropped because it's the object of I love. But remember, in informal English or writing, it's better to include it. Practical English usage emphasizes that non-defining clauses should never use that. For example, maybe like my laptop, which is new once fast. The sentence shows that when adding extra information in non-defining clause, we must use which instead of that. By understanding and practicing these points, you can confidently use relative clauses to create sentences that are detailed, clear, and grammatically correct. Always take your time to check if your relative clause is defining or non-defining, and wherever you need a comma or not. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope this explanation helps you use relative clauses more accurately and effectively in your writing and speaking. Don't hesitate to review these tips whenever you write a sentence that needs to more detail. Practice makes perfect. Thank you.
Alright everyone, that's all for our video. We hope you enjoy and understand the material, which is about their sentence construction and relative clauses.
If you found this video helpful, feel free to watch it again when you need a quick review.
Remember, mastering grammar please. So, don't be afraid to make mistakes and keep improving.
Thank you so much for
for watching. Wassalam.